Hi, this is the VSU Newsroom. I am Michelle Albrecht, and tonight is a very important night. We are sending you live to the first debate of the 2000 presidential election.
Good evening, I'm Jim Lair. Welcome to the first of 3 debates between Texas Governor George W. Bush and Vice President Al Gore. Now let's meet the candidates. George W. Bush and Al Gore. Let's begin the debate. Mr. Vice President, during this campaign you have frequently called the Bush tax plan a risky scheme. Why is that?
Well, Jim, Governor Bush and I have 2 very different plans to offer tax relief to American families. In his plan, the wealthiest 1% of Americans would receive nearly 50% of the benefits. My plan, Jim, is different. Rather than squander the surplus on a risky tax cut for the wealthy, I would put it in what I call a lockbox.
Governor Bush, your response?
I don't know what all that was about, but I will tell you this. Don't mess with Texas.
I didn't mess with Texas.
Governor Bush, I listened very carefully to the Vice President's remark, and I honestly do not believe he did in fact mess with Texas. Now, Governor Bush, the next question is for you. 2 weeks ago at a meeting with the Economic Club in Detroit, you said the following: more seldom than not, the movies gives us exquisite sex and wholesome violence that underscores our values. Every 2 child did. I will. What did you mean by that?
Pass.
Perhaps if you could see it on a monitor.
Pass.
Really? No idea what that could mean.
Could be education?
Jim, I believe that my opponent intended to say was that all too often the explicit sex and wholesale violence in films undermines our values.
Bingo. That's it. That's it.
I happen to agree with Governor Bush on that, and I commend him for it. But let me add something to my plan. The lockbox would also be camouflage. Now, to all outward appearances, it would be a leather-bound edition of Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. And it wouldn't be, or would it be, the lockbox.
Thank you, Vice President Gore.
Jim, let me here tonight issue a warning to our enemies, or potential enemies, of the United States. You may think you know the location of the lockbox, or maybe you do. Or maybe that's a decoy or a dummy lockbox. Only the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, myself, and Tipper are going to know for sure.
Governor Bush, anything to add?
I believe that some of those figures may be inaccurate.
Jim, what you just heard from my opponent is an attack on my integrity and my character, and I will not reply in kind. Instead, I will take those remarks, tuck them away in a tiny lockbox where all my bad thoughts go.
Well, that brings us to the close of tonight's debate. Each candidate will now give a brief closing statement.
Jim, may I have 2 closing statements?
Absolutely not. In fact, we're almost out of time, so I will instead ask each candidate to sum up in a single word the best argument for his candidacy. Governor Bush?
Strategery.
Vice President Gore?
Lockbox.
This concludes the first presidential debate. Thank you.
There is a breaking story from the VSU Newsroom. The electoral votes have officially been counted. Bush has 271 votes against Gore's 266 votes. George W. Bush is the new President of the United States of America. Let's go live to the Republican headquarters to see President Bush's reaction to this news.
Ladies and gentlemen, the votes are in.
Dang it.
Governor Bush, you have been elected 43rd President of the United States. What do you have to say?
No way. Well, I told you not to mess with Texas. Texas is the best, and now it's all about America. America's #1. America and my daddy. America. Don't mess with Texas.
To win in the 2000 election. Presidential election.
I don't even know who ran.
The question is, who would you have wanted to win in the presidential election of 2000?
2000?
Yeah.
Who do you think should have won the 2000 presidential election?
I think the one who got the most votes should have won.
And who was that?
That's to yet be determined, isn't it?